Now, the other day, hip-hop fans found out something very interesting. Joey Bada's Ghostwrote Rockstar by Post Malone. Now, that's a big surprise. So a couple of days, a version of the song Rockstar by Post Malone leaked which featured T-Pain and Joey Bada. A lot of people were speculating that it was the remix of the song, but it turns out that it was actually the original version. So this all started with a fan tweeting T-Pain telling him, "T-Pain, why you gotta murder the Rockstar remix?" thinking that this was actually the remix of the song. And T-Pain responded with, "That's the original. They took me off and put 21 on. Me and Joey had it first." And then a little bit after that, Joey Bada replied to a tweet of an article talking about the new information that we just got about T-Pain and Joey Bada having the original Rockstar. And Joey Bada said, "This is facts. I actually co-wrote the song with Post. Quietly got my first #1 off that." Now this is very interesting considering Joey Bada is the last person that I expected to write a song like Rockstar. The fact is, we know that Joey Bada is capable of actually producing a hit song. We saw that with his highly successful Devastated track that pretty much went mainstream and did extremely well. But since I see Joey Bada as one of the few rappers who's a master at embodying that old school hip hop vibe in his music, there is really no connection between Rockstar and Joey Bada. This whole conversation could be aimed at the fact that this might have never came out if T-Pain didn't reply to that fan who thanked him for jumping on the remix when it really was the original song. Now Joey Bada is an artist who has established his name in the industry. Yes, Joey Bada might not be a mainstream rapper whose music has reached so many people like an artist like Kendrick, but Joey Bada is a well-known name. Let's just put it that way. But what if there's other artists who actually write for bigger names like Post Malone? They're of course gonna get paid, but they're never gonna get the credit they deserve because they're not gonna talk about it like Joey Bada. We have to realize that bigger artists are always looking for inspiration when it comes to building upon the sound that they have. Just look at Drake and Take Care. Drake basically had The Weeknd give him his entire album to create Take Care. Now, shit, I'm saying the word now way too much, man. What the fuck? Now, the difference between someone who secretly ghostwrites behind the scenes and The Weeknd is The Weeknd actually had a choice and The Weeknd actually had a platform. And most importantly, The Weeknd actually did go his own way. Or an artist like Party Next Door, who's clearly a superstar, but look at what he does. Party Next Door practically gives away all his hit songs to people like Rihanna. If you don't already know, Party Next Door has actually helped write songs like Work and Wild Thoughts. I can imagine that there's probably a smaller artist out there somewhere who's writing for bigger names, creating hits and staying low-key because they don't want to burn any bridges. But in reality, the smaller artists could probably outwork the person they're giving all the material to, but it's all about the status and credibility. In this case, we can trust Joey Bada because T-Pain said that him and Joey had the Rockstar song first, and then Joey Bada kind of just confirmed it. But let's say that this was the 2012 version of Joey Bada. Would you really believe him if he came out and talked about how he ghostwrote a hit song like Rockstar? Probably not, unless Post Malone himself actually confirmed it, and that's only because the younger version of Joey Bada didn't really have an established name, so the credibility and the trust is not gonna be there because a smaller artist maybe has an agenda. Maybe they're saying that they ghostwrote a song because they just want the fame, they just want the shine that they still haven't gotten. And I'm not saying that a smaller artist coming out and saying that they ghostwrote something is them lying. I'm actually saying quite the opposite, because if there is a smaller artist out there who is ghostwriting for bigger names, like in this situation it was Joey Bada, then I definitely think that we should embrace them instead of kind of pointing the fingers at them and looking at them and saying it's your fault for ghostwriting for bigger artists when you don't really have the proper shine you deserve yourself. The point is, I think that Joey Bada coming out might open the door for other artists who are in a position like this to speak about it. Now granted, a lot of those secret writers might not even have a platform like Joey Bada, which I think is unfortunate because I personally believe that there's a lot of them who are getting sucked out of their inspiration because they've been trained to provide for the bigger names. And if there's someone like Joey Bada who wrote a song like Rockstar, which I never expected, then I can imagine that there's more artists in the same situation, but they just don't talk about it. But I want to hear what you have to say about this whole situation. Does it surprise you that Joey Bada actually wrote Rockstar, or are you not surprised at all? Definitely let me know in the comment section below and let's have a discussion about this. By the way, once again, thank you so much for 100k subscribers. It's crazy, we're growing really fast, so that's pretty crazy and I'm really happy for that. And of course, if you want to connect more with me, definitely hit me up on Twitter at BlackySpeakz and definitely hit me up on Instagram at BlackySpeakz with an S at the end. And I've started to do some Instagram live sessions consistently on Instagram, so if you want to hear me talk about music live, then definitely hit me up on Instagram. It's on the screen right now, but of course, let me know what you thought about this topic and let's have a discussion.